What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel for another edition of the Tactic Tester. We have had 22 different tactics on the series so far, and today we welcome a brand new creator to try and run the Tactic Tester gauntlet. It is not easy with Arsenal, I will admit, in FM21, but we've had some fantastic results. Before we get into things, I'm just going to remind you guys of the rules of this series and show you our current top 10, because it is getting very, very tight inside that top 10. So guys, a quick reminder of the rules first and foremost. All tactics must have a proven record of success or achievement. All tactics will use the same team and fixtures for the test. That will be Arsenal in this instance. No transfers will be allowed to be made by the side in either transfer window. All tactics will be loaded in and the whole season will be simulated in one sitting, and all points, wins, goals scored and win percentage will be collected and displayed to find the best tactic out there. But as I mentioned in the intro, we have a very tight top 10 leaderboard. Let's take a look at things now. So last weekend we had Jamie Tarantino, or Tarantino UX, in the Tactic Tester, and he managed to get himself inside our top 5 with an impressive 71.87% win ratio with his 4-4-2 the diamond wingback. It was a very interesting formation. It was kind of basically just the two centre backs and then a very interesting line beyond that. I will leave a link to that as a card. And then obviously we do have 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 still topping the table with his 4-1-2-2-1. It was his asymmetric brilliance that won him the Premier League, got him 99 points with Arsenal, which is just a ridiculous return, and has that all important 85% win ratio. Let's get into things. Take a look at today's tactic. So then, guys, we are back in game and we are back at Arsenal for another edition of the Tactic Tester. Today's creator is someone from my Twitch chat. He's relatively new to the Twitch chat, but it has been ever present ever since he joined. He's in the Discord as well. This is how he submitted this tactic. And it's an interesting one. I'm very intrigued to see how it gets on in the tester. His name is 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙤𝙪, or that's his Twitch username. He is going to start streaming soon. His name is Tom. As I said, he is going to start streaming soon, so make sure you head over to Twitch. I'll leave a link to Tom's Twitch in the description, so you can go over, give him a follow, and you can maybe see this tactic in action on his stream. But without any further ado, let's get in and take a look at the tactic. And as you can see, it is a 3-4-1-2 with two defensive midfielders. I'm very intrigued to see who Arsenal put in these positions, to be perfectly honest. Really looking forward to the quick pick. So what we have here, we have a sweeper keeper on attack. No additional instructions on that man there. We've got two centre backs on the left and the right of the three, both on defend. No additional instructions on those either. A ball playing defender, again on defend with no additional instructions. Two ball winning midfielders on support, which it's not a role that I enjoy this year, the ball-winning midfielder. I just don't think it's as effective as it could be. But he's got two of those there. Wingers on the left and on the right, both on the support function, again with no additional instructions on those. An attacking midfielder with the instruction of get further forward. It's attacking midfielder on attack, actually. It's going to be interesting to see how they are sort of set up. Then you've got two advanced forwards, again, both on attack. Advanced forwards are my preferred up top, so I like those very, very much. It is a custom gegenpress on a positive mentality. In possession, extremely wide, so it's going to be interesting to see how these wingers get on. I assume it's going to be Saka and Willian on the wings, but we'll take a look at that in a sec. Pass into space and play out through the defense. Standard passing directness, higher tempo, whipped crosses, which is something you don't necessarily see very often. Work the ball into the box, run at the defense, and be more disciplined. In terms of in transition, it is a gegenpress, so they will counter press and they will counter when possession's been won. Distribute the ball to the centre backs. Obviously, there's three of them and no fullbacks. And the distribution type is to take short kicks. In terms of out of possession, guys, much higher line of engagement, higher defensive line, which may catch them out with three defenders, you never know. Standard defensive width, extremely urgent pressing intensity, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and the instruction of get stuck in on the tackling. If for any purpose you need to pause the video just so you can make sure you get all of this down so you can recreate the tactic yourself, please do so. We always do a quick pick just to see what players get put in what positions here, and I'm very intrigued to see who fills those 2 wide winger spots, especially with the extremely wide play style. Yeah, I was right. So Leno's in goal, Holding, David Luiz and Gabriel make up the back 3. Thomas Partey and 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 are the 2 ball-winning midfielders. Willian on the right, Saka on the left, Mesut Ozil on the whole. I will say, disclaimer, this was all set up, this database, at the start of the year, hence why Mesut Ozil's here, hence why Martin Odegaard is not. Lacazette and then Aubameyang up top. Those 2 should get a lot of goals. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. But yeah, this is what I was kind of worried about. If we go on the analytics and take a look at the positional, there's a big hole here in midfield. For me, even if you just make Thomas Partey, I'd probably put him there. Maybe DLP gives a little bit of space, because as he was back here as a ball-winning midfielder on support, there's major issues here. There's a massive gap in the centre of the pitch, so I'm very intrigued to see how this does get on. But that is where I'm going to leave things now. I'm going to advance and simulate the entire season. I'll be back with the results in just a few minutes. So then, guys, we are back at the end of the season, and it's almost a 50 goal season for Lacazette. 49 goals for the Frenchman, highest average rating, 16 assists for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is pretty good as well. Aubameyang and Lacazette with 10 Player of the Match awards. David Luiz and Granit Xhaka 12 yellow cards apiece and 2 reds for David Luiz as well, just for good measure. That's him suspended for a decent chunk of the season. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, Arsenal finished in 4th. Aston Villa up in 5th. Fair play to them this season. That's a great return. Comfortably 4th, I would say, but quite a long way off the top 3, who are a lot closer. Liverpool winning the league with 96 points in this instance. I think, all told, that's okay. Arsenal would take top 4 right now. They would bite your hand off for it. How did they get on in the rest of the competitions? Lost the Community Shield to Liverpool. No surprise there, that does happen. Lost in the Carabao Cup final. It'll be interesting to see who won that Carabao Cup. Let's have a look. Fulham again, man. Fulham beat Tarantino in the FA Cup last week as well. Absolutely ridiculous scenes. And finished 10th in the Premier League. What a result that is. Scott Parker doing a madness. Knocked out in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup by West Ham. Knocked out in the second knockout round of the Europa League by AC Milan. Do AC Milan play Champions League football this year? I cannot remember. No, they don't. They actually have to qualify for the Europa League. Interesting. Okay. And then obviously finishing 4th inside the Premier League. So let's break down their schedule. Let's filter this. Let's take out all the competitions. Let's start off with what comes first. A 2-2 loss on penalty, 2-2 result, and then a loss on penalties to Liverpool in the Community Shield. Disappointing. Losing on penalties is not the end of the world. In terms of that Carabao Cup then, how was the run-in? Beat Burnley, beat Leeds, beat Man City, beat Manchester United. Oh my God, they went on such a run in the Carabao Cup, only to be undone by Fulham. If you lose to either one of these 2 in the final, you take it, but losing to Fulham is going to be a disappointing one. Former Bristol City man Bobby De Cordova-Reid getting the decisive goal inside the first half. That whole attacking line looking like it's not playing very well. Xhaka, Ceballos, Eddie and Nketiah all at 6.3s or 6.2s respectively. Not quite good enough just there. So if we take a look at the FA Cup, beat Oxford, beat Leeds, beat Leicester, beat Leeds again, taking on Leeds all the time, then lost in extra time to West Ham away. They did have the lead in that game. Lacazette's goal was cancelled out by Jarrod Bowen and then conceded in the 118th minute. Absolute sucker punch, a late goal coming for West Ham there. In terms of the Europa League then, we've seen that they lost and were put out by AC Milan. If we go group stage, absolutely dominated the group stage. I don't know who this team are. Is that from Slovenia? They are from Slovenia. In this edition, 18-0 on aggregate over this team. Victory against Celtic, which is interesting. split the result. Yeah, great result, especially at home against Maccabi Tel Aviv. Sorry, wrong Israeli team. Losing to Celtic at Celtic Park again. Another late goal, actually. Jermaine Frimpong with a 80th minute winner. Beating Sporting in the first knockout round is okay. Drawing the away game 1-1, I think, is enough. Away goal anywhere in European football is pretty good. Lost 2-0 at AC Milan over in the San Siro, and then drew 2-2 at home. Not as good as you'd like to see. I mean, coming up against one of the big boys like AC Milan in the second round is frustrating. Like we've had last week, Tarantino was knocked out by PSG, and it's just like, the PSG shouldn't be in the Europa League, man. So if we take a look at just the Premier League, then again, getting off to a nice, decent start. It's weird that they lost the Leeds in the Premier League despite beating them in what seemingly was every domestic cup competition. Doing pretty well here. Some rogue results, losing to Brighton, losing twice to Man City, no shame there. Drawing 0-0 with Burnley is probably a little bit of a shameful result. Mixed bags here, beating Palace, beating Leeds, and then beating Fulham is a good one. Losses to Leicester you can kind of understand, but losing 5-0 to Southampton, not necessarily the best you've ever seen. A great February, beating Wolves, Manchester United, Sheffield United, and West Ham. That's a great month, getting things back on track there. 0-0 draw with West Brom. That will be a little bit of a disappointing one to take. And then April and May in this simulation, if you are playing in the Europa League and stuff, these fixtures just pile up. Let's just look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Premier League games alone in April. They played Newcastle twice, they played Liverpool twice in the same month, and it's just ridiculous. 2 losses to Liverpool, kind of what you would expect. Lost to Newcastle in the home game. That's interesting. Even Andy Carroll scored. What is going on here? What is happening here? Mixed month. You'd expect a better result against Newcastle. You can take the 2 losses to Liverpool on the chin. Beating Brighton, losing to Villa, beating Everton, drawing with Chelsea on the 94th minute again. It seems like there's a lot of late goals here, and then losing 3-0 to Manchester United with Maitland-Niles getting a sending off inside the 7th minute. So he would have been the right. What would he have been? Right midfielder? Either way, going down to 10 away at Old Trafford inside 10 minutes is not it. Let's have a look at the squad. Obviously, we've seen goals in terms of Lacazette. 42 goals for Lacazette. 49 goals for Lacazette, sorry. 42 for Aubameyang. So they score a lot of goals, this formation. 13 for Eddie Nketiah as well. 10 for Willian. And it all sorts to drop off several players in single figures. Lots of assists as well. 16 for Aubameyang, 15 for Willian, 14 for Lacazette and Nketiah, 13 for Ozil, 10 for Saka, and 10 for Reece Nelson as well. So fair play. Nice little result there. If we go into the team report now then, analyst report, let's take a look at the scoring. We always like to see actually let's have a look at the general. As you can see, in terms of goals per game, scores a high number of expected goals per 90 minutes compared to the average, wins a relatively average ratio of tackles. Interesting. In terms of scoring efficiency, where are they? They are aggressive and clinical, coming in at just over a 16% conversion rate. That is fantastic. More clinical than a lot of teams actually, and more clinical than every team in terms of conversion rate. Just over 16% off of 14 shots a game is very, very good. However, it looks like this is going to be where there's a little bit of an issue. Yeah, quiet and leaky. So they face fewer shots per game than the average, but concede more goals than would be expected in that same scenario. Almost giving up a 15% conversion rate off of 9 shots a game. That's kind of where we're having some issues. In terms of formations, plus 79 clear-cut chances for and against. That's actually creating a chance every 31 minutes, which is actually ridiculous, but it does give up a chance every 67 minutes. I think with a couple minor tweaks, I think this could do very, very well. In terms of formations, faces absolutely decimated the 4-2-3-1 wide and a 4-3-3 diamond wide. DM wide, sorry, absolutely annihilates them. Does pretty well against the 4-1-1 as well, and a 4-4-2, so it does pretty well all across the board. I'm very intrigued to see how this does get on. I'll be back once I've figured out where Tom lands on our leaderboard. And I told you it was getting tight at the top of our leaderboard. And unfortunately, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 or Tom does not make it inside the top 10. Atlas Gaming 717 lives to fight another day at the 10th spot on the leaderboard. Tom's tactic then, it was a 3-4-1-2. Unfortunately, he finished with no trophies, finished 4th in the Premier League with 73 points. In terms of goals scored, he scored 151 goals throughout the course of the season, conceding 73, coming in with a goals per game of 2.64, which is a very good return. It's higher than a lot of the tactics inside our top 10, but unfortunately for Tom, his win percentage was 66.66%. So as I said, narrowly missing out on a spot inside our top 10. So then guys, that is another edition of the tactic tester in the books. It has been a good one, and unfortunately Tom did not make it inside our top 10. He will be the person in 11th. I think at the end of the game cycle, I'm going to release a full graphic with everyone's tactic on it, so we can really see how everybody's got on and what happened in terms of all of the tactics on the leaderboard. I think it'll be fantastic to see everybody in one spot. But unfortunately, he didn't make it inside our top 10 to be featured in the video. But do go and check him out. His links will be in the description. Please, as I said, he's going to start streaming on Twitch himself. Go and give him a follow on Twitch. He's been fantastic in my community in the time that he's been there. And if you want to submit a tactic for your tactic tester, please do go into the description. There will be a link to my Discord channel right at the top of there. Come on in, join the community, and we have a channel specifically for tactic tester submissions. I'd love to get your guys' tactics on here and see if you can knock off 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 from the top of our leaderboard. But until next time, guys, don't forget to like the video down below, subscribe if you are new around here, and that's where I'm going to leave things. Have a good one, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week for another edition of the tactic tester.